Welcome back to another episode of the Off Market Operator, you guys, where I take you A to Z on steps to build your real estate company, other businesses, and everything you want to do in your entrepreneur journey. So, you guys, in this episode, this is a hard one for me. This episode, I'm addressing a real life situation, which is also the topic of the podcast. Funny enough, which is partnership. So, in this episode, I'm doing two things. One is addressing my current partnership situation, and two is talking about things that I think make a great partnership. So, let's go ahead and let's get right into it. People don't fail at real estate because they suck. They fail because there's too many ways to succeed. That's why I suggest you focus on the most important skill in all of real estate, which is finding deals. I'm Ruud-Johnson, and in this podcast, I share the exact steps I've used to source 400 deals by age 24. This will allow you to do three things: control your deal flow, make unlimited income, and build your empire as an off-market operator. Man, this is a hard one. So, a lot of what we get asked inside of our coaching groups and in-person events we do, as well as our virtual coaching group, one of the main things we get asked by people coming through the real estate business, and I also work with people in other industries as well, is partnerships. I can't tell you guys the amount of times I've gotten asked about partnerships, and right now, on this podcast, I'm going to do a really good job of keeping you guys you're listening to this, as well as weekly updates on what's going on inside the business, other things as well. So right now, I am currently actually going through a partnership separation in a real estate company. One of our real estate companies, HelloPad, which I ran with this specific partner for, I think, roughly 3 years. I didn't triple check the dates, but I think we got into it together in 2020. And right now, we're going our separate ways. Very amicably right now. There's nothing ugly, so to speak. And I'm not going to go too much into detail on what caused that separation. I'll use some broader overview stuff I'll be talking about, but I'm not going to go super in depth into that. And then today also I'm going to be talking about just stuff that I think leads to a good partnership, because I have very good partnerships that I've had for a long time as well that I see continuing way off in the future as well. So um, I think the first things with partnerships is aligning on why you guys are becoming partners. I've started different partnerships at different periods of my life, and when I've started that partnership out of more need than actual, hey, we're sitting down and we're deciding that we all fit a certain role, and that role is going to be the same long term. That's when partnerships for me feel easy. And you guys that are listening to this, partnerships are very hard, just like marriage is hard, relationships are hard. It takes daily work on a partnership. Um, and the biggest thing, obviously, with any partnership is trust. So if you guys out there that have current partners or are looking for partners, once trust gets eroded for one reason or another, even if it's non-intentional, and I believe a lot of times in partnerships, at least my partnerships, where either my partner has lost trust in me or vice versa, it's been because of something very non-intentional that just took too long to communicate, and that can spiral from there. So the first thing I could say with partnerships, you guys, and I got people that hit me up every single week that their partnerships are going separate ways. Business partnerships are hard. Most do not last long term. Some do. Usually, it's very senior people in business that have run several companies and been through several partnerships to get to a point and go, okay, I figured this partnership thing out. But the first thing to me in a partnership, is trust. And in my last partnership, that just recently ended, in HelloPad, our wholesaling business, we had an incredible run. I mean, we've done hundreds of deals over the past 3-4 years. We've thrown huge events. We've built a lot of things together, and there was nothing that really set us apart as like, hey, we wouldn't be good partners long term. The main reason that we went our separate ways is, I can only speak on my part, and my part is that just looking forward, we no longer aligned on future vision stuff, and that's okay. That happens, and it was very hard for me to separate in that situation, mainly because there's so much history and there's a lot of guilt and other emotions that comes with a partnership. But I wanted to get on here, be very, very honest and forthcoming with you guys about what's going on behind the scenes in our companies. Nothing's changing, so to speak, in our real estate companies, other than current partner and I are going our separate ways. He's going to go crush it. He's going to go do deals and flips and all kinds of different stuff. The best sales person I know on earth, by far, and a grinder, and he'll make as much money as he wants in his lifetime. And I have no concern about that. But again, back to partnerships. Why I think they're so hard is that trust takes daily work. And beyond that, you have to have a certain level of accountability and communication. And accountability meaning you guys know exactly what you're working on when it's supposed to be done, and then being able to hold each other accountable. I can say in my last partnership, I did a bad job relaying my expectations of the partnership, and holding my partner and partners accountable, because I've had two partners in that real estate company over the last few years. Um, and I'm not, guys, I'm not here to drop names or say, I mean, you guys probably know who they are. If you follow me and follow along everything, I've always promoted them as much as myself. And I mean the best for everyone that I've worked with. The current partnership that I still have is in my call center, and I have a few partners in that center. And why that partnership, why I think it works so well, is we have very clear roles, very clear communication, and we all hold each other accountable. And I think that's a huge thing as you guys grow your companies, is just being raw and honest with people. So resentment doesn't build, because resentment, whether it's intentional or non-intentional, is what ends most partnerships at the end of the day. Is you sitting down, um, in the house at night, and over time you start to look at things in a skewed lens, and that's happened to me. I've looked at things in a very skewed lens as time went on. That's just the reality of the situation. And I have a lot of things that as I grow as an entrepreneur and a business owner, that I continue want to iterate on and improve on myself as an operator, myself as a partner, as a business owner, and as a leader. And those are things that I need to continue to improve on. And that's what I think is amazing about partnerships and any relationship, is that it gives you a mirror to look in, and realize what you need to work on. And so that being said, this partnership specifically, amazing. It was amazing 3, 4 years of my life. We climbed mountains, we did incredible things, which is not to be forgotten, but was a very important part of both of our entrepreneurial journeys. And we'll both go on to do incredible things. So if I what I want to talk about, guys, if I was going to engage another partnership, right? If I was going to engage another partnership in real estate or whatever I'm going to do, because I'm going to continue to wholesale, continue to flip, continue to do all the other stuff I want to do in the real estate world, such as development, building a portfolio, all that kind of stuff. But as my companies grow, I will engage in new partnerships, 100%. You guys, the one reason I'm at where I am at right now, sitting here talking to you in 2023, is because of partnerships and people. People scale so much faster than money does. Okay, money is a great leverage tool to scale, but there's no better lever in a business than people. And I tell a lot of people that, especially people that come through our group. A partner is amazing, but it has to be, a very strategic decision. It can't be out of an impulsive. Oh, you want to be in real estate? I want to be in real estate, or we're friends. Let's be partners. That doesn't work. So it has to be very methodical. But partners are the reason I'm sitting here in my call center business. The reason we scaled so quick is, that business I didn't start on purpose. I had an idea and a concept, and I brought it to life because our other business needed it. And I met the right partners, and we partnered very strategically. And I gave up parts of that business for stuff I'm not as good at. Like, I'm not the CEO of that company, and I have no ego in saying I'm not the CEO of that company. We all fill our roles in that company, which is going to lead to a big exit one day in that space. And so partnerships, man, and have put me in a position at 24 where I can truly say that I just feel like I'm on an expedited path because of partners and relationships. And guys, I can't stress enough about relationships, especially in real estate. It's a small world. And if you're doing things like, if you're doing stuff behind people's backs, or you're bad mouthing people behind people's backs, or you're stealing deals from people, or doing stuff like that, like, it's a small world, and your name will spread, whether you think it will or not. I hear stuff about people from different states all the time, and that you don't want that. So making sure that you guys are doing good business, and what I mean, do what you say you're going to do, especially with people that are external from your business, such as clients and vendors and things like that. If you say you're going to pay an invoice, pay it. If you say you're going to buy a deal, buy it. If you say you're going to sign a deal, sign it. And yeah, that's my first point on that, is that you guys can't really ever have expedited business growth, in my opinion, without strategic partners. And there's other ways to do it, like what we do in a lot of our companies now too, is I call them partners, but it's more of a rev share model, where instead of me saying, hey, here's a portion of the company, because a lot of these companies aren't sellable. You guys, if you guys are sitting here and you have a wholesale company or flip company or development company, the value of your company is in your pipeline. You guys, mostly when your pipeline's cleared out, most of us just have liabilities, like in the real estate space, like we don't have sellable companies. Which also why I think a lot of real estate partnerships don't end well, is because there's no real, like, long term play, other than let's make a bunch of money and buy real estate. Most people don't end up doing the last part of that, buying real estate. and they just make money, spend it, and it's a vicious cycle. So if you guys are in real estate and exploring partnerships, make sure you guys have a chat about, what the long-term vision is of that, right? Is one guy want to build a portfolio, one guy just wants to make cash forever? Because real estate to me is like a wholesaling and flipping business. They're hard businesses to scale. They're businesses that really don't want to scale past a certain threshold. My partner and I got our wholesale company and flip company. We did a couple million in revenue a year. We're between $1 and $3 million a year between flips and wholesale every single year we were together. Besides the first like weird year, which is half a year. And ultimately, I think it come down to is we just had different ideology around what that business meant to each of us long term, and that's okay. And that's a conversation I wish I would have had way earlier on. So if you guys are listening to this, have those hard conversations about what you want that business to be to you, because they're not sellable unless you guys have some crazy internal tool you built. They're not sellable. It's not recurring revenue. You get fired every single deal as soon as a transaction closes and escrow closes. The deal is done. You guys are done. No one, there's no other way to monetize that deal. There's not a huge affiliate lever in the real estate space. Like it's not that often that a seller will refer you their friend or family. The affiliate lever you can get is agents and vendors and stuff like that. But in regards to like your cost for a deal, there's only really one way to monetize that deal. You can monetize it a few times during the transaction. If you have like I have buddies that all are lenders and realtors and investors, and they'll find a way to monetize the same transaction two or three ways with vertically integrated companies like a brokerage, a wholesale, and fix and flip shop, and they do loans as well. So there's ways to monetize um, uh, in different ways. So I'm not saying you can't monetize a deal more than one way, but you get fired every deal, no matter what you do in real estate. And so making sure that exit strategy is in place. Okay, if you're going to build a wholesale company or a flip company or development company really big, I feel like at least a flip and wholesale company, because the amount of moving pieces are very, very, very hard to scale businesses, especially as you get bigger. Development, I've talked to buddies, is a little different, but in terms of controllables, there's a lot of things that you just can't predict in the wholesale. Every transaction, which guys, you listen to this, every wholesale transaction is brutal, and oftentimes the smaller ones are the ones that get the most, have the most hair on them. The $10,000-$20,000 deals that the tenant doesn't want to leave, or the closing gets pushed off 4 times, or there's a lien on the property, whatever it is. Like the reality is wholesale deals, flip deals, very hard to scale business. So make sure you have an extra strategy. You want to be my hard to scale to get it to $1 million, $2 million a year. Very straightforward. We've helped over 100 companies do that. We've done that internally. Like to get to that point, it's very straightforward. You talk to a lot of sellers, you talk to a lot of buyers. Beyond that, it's a lot of people and a lot of complexity and a lot of turnover. And so you guys listen to this, make sure if you are engaging a partnership, especially in real estate, you guys are clear on all these things I've talked about: the trust, the communication, the purpose of the partnership, the long-term play of the partnership, and work on the partnership daily. Like really work on it daily. And there's stuff I wish I would have done in my recent partnerships that just ended early on. Like I for sure could have been a much better business partner. And that's how I have the awareness in many parts of my life to sit here and say that, because it's the reality. None of us are perfect business partners or people. We're all human beings, and we all have our faults and our blind spots. And so make sure you guys treat your business partners like a living, breathing thing, and don't just set it on the back burner and expect it to sustain without that. So um, there's other mistakes that I made during my partnership. I moved states, right? I moved states, and where our office was, and that definitely played a role long term into what have happened, and amongst a lot of other things. But it really comes down to me getting clarity, which I didn't have at the beginning, of what that business meant to me, and that's ultimately what it comes down to. So I'm not going to drag this episode on too long, you guys. I wanted to mostly give you a behind the scenes look at what's going on with me. But again, to summarize, uh, my real estate company is not going anywhere. We're going to continue to grow, strategically partner with the right people, do flips, do wholesale. Eventually, want to do some development and some other things as well. Looking forward to continue to grow. I'm almost 7 years into real estate. I got into real estate at 18. 18 was when I did my first deal, and I'm turning 25 in May. So I feel like I'm a baby in the game still, but the one thing that I will say and I will stick to is that wholesaling is life changing. It changed my life, and it changed a lot of people's life. And 0 to 1 million in that business is very doable, and it's life changing. That kind of money and that control over your financial situation and your time. So, again, you guys, no negativity for me. I wish my partners and all my companies and former partners all the best, and I hope you guys got value from this little monologue here. And I hope you crush it in your partnerships, your business, and everything else you got going on in 2023. Man, that was a tough one for me to record. Thank you guys for sitting here and listening for the past 15 minutes or so as I both filled you in on my current partnership situation, but also broke down some things I think make a good partnership. That's one of the most frequent questions we get. And as always, you guys, please let me know feedback on these episodes. You can reach out to me on a variety of different platforms such as Instagram, Twitter. My DMs are always open to communicate. Love the feedback on this kind of stuff. And as always, guys, please give me a like and follow here on all your favorite podcast playing stations such as Apple Podcasts, such as Spotify. And I'd love to continue to connect and grow as I continue to grow the show and give you guys what you need to grow your company. And as always, you are only one deal away.